What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Elliott Delp. This is Sparky, back again like you never left.
That's right.
The one-handed wonders today.
That's right.
He was fighting water slides.
You want to know the real story?
Sure, tell me the real story.
There was a bear in the backyard, and Dad's like, go take care of him. I said, I can last 10 rounds with that guy. Well, he got me in one.
He broke your hand in the bear. I see. Today we have a good one. We have the Daniel Defense Mark 12. All right, this is one of the most expensive rifles we've ever had out on the channel. And I'm super excited because I like the Mark 12 platform. We recently did a video with the Mark 12, which is 6mm custom built AR-15 that kind of looks like a Mark 12. But today we have the Daniel Defense Mark 12. This one's from the factory, not a custom job by any means.
Real deal.
The real deal. So we're going to talk about it and kind of how it performed and what we think about it. Do we think it's worth the price tag? Because Daniel Defense, as most of you guys know, is very expensive. Before we do, we would like to say check us out at Basement Operator.
Gotta have it.
Gotta have it. And we don't have any sponsors for today's video, so that's it. Let's dive right in. All right, Sparky. So this thing, big price tag on it, about $2,400. Daniel's Defense is not cheap by any means whatsoever. And there's been a lot of controversy surrounding Daniel's Defense in the past. I think the company had some PR issues.
Yeah, a little bit.
I still wanted one.
Oh yeah, you got it.
Yeah, Daniel's Defense has made all kinds of fantastic firearms in the past, like the Mark 18, which is their short-barreled rifle, to to their M4, to their DD-V7s and all that stuff. Did you ever sell any of those at Rural King when you were
Not really.
there?
We just sell their standard 16-inch 5.56s. We didn't really get into any more fun stuff like this.
Any off-the-wall stuff?
No, you'd have occasionally someone to order one, but as far as like me selling it, not very often.
Before we talk about the build on this is Mark 12, which is an SPR, which is a special purpose rifle. Let's talk a little bit about the philosophy behind it and kind of what it's meant for and what you'd buy this rifle for. Essentially, this is to bridge the gap between kind of that close range,
carbine.
Carbine, and kind of bring it into a more capable, longer range rifle.
Starting to see the benefits of 5.56 and like stretch. Now I don't want to say stretch the limits of 5.56, but you're
pushing it further.
You're pushing it, and you're getting more performance out of the round.
Exactly. That's kind of the goal of this rifle and the Mark 12 platform in general, was to shoot further, shoot more accurately, and bring a more capable rifle to the battlefield when the actual Mark 12 was issued out. We had already talked about the price tag, $2,400. But what do you get for that? All right, so we'll start tip to butt.
Oh boy. You left the flannel at home?
Yeah, I left the flannel at home. I'm not flannel daddy. I'm the Amazon flannel daddy.
I was gonna say dollar store, but okay.
No, Amazon's better. So the first thing is something that's not even on it. We kind of swapped it out already because we've been running a can on this. But it came with a Daniel's Defense flash hider. It was, I think, a salt bath. It was a very basic. I mean, we ripped that thing off as soon as we got it because we wanted to run this thing suppressed. So skipping over that kind of, we have the first things first is the 18-inch stainless steel chrome lined cold hammer forged barrel. Which is nice. Which is really nice. And that's one of the great things about Daniel's Defense is they have really, really great barrels. This thing is stupid accurate. It is supposed to, perform for a few months now. It's been like 2 or 3 months just shooting it off and on. And we're getting great groups with it. When we zeroed it in, we were using a SIG optic. We're using the SIG Easy Box. Awesome barrel, incredibly accurate. I'm glad they went cold hammer forged. It's kind of like the standard. Yeah, now
everyone's kind of, well, for the most part, raised the bar to this.
Yeah.
Like if you're buying a nicer rifle, that's minimum.
Yeah.
That's what you got to have if you're going to buy a slightly higher end rifle.
Exactly. And it's just longer life on the barrel and improved accuracy. Oh yeah. So I mean, it's just a great barrel to have and an awesome option, that Daniel Defense went with. Especially, I mean, I think all of their barrels are cold hammer forged. For the most part. And you're buying a high-end rifle, so you're expecting that.
Yeah, it's got to come with it.
Yeah, so, I mean, they spared no expense on that. Moving back a little bit, we have a Mark 12 gas block. This is Daniel Defense's Mark 12 gas block. It's with a rifle length system. That rifle length system allows for, really easy recoil. I mean, there's a lot I mean, 5.56 didn't have a lot of recoil to begin with, but with the bigger gas system in it, it takes a little bit of that hit off. I mean, there's not much to begin with, but
I'm glad it took a little bit off, though.
Took a little bit off. Yeah, there's not much to begin with, but it lightens it up a little bit, not too much. All right, so this is the next big thing, and kind of one of the telltale, like, Mark 12-esque. Like, if you see the gas block popping out from a 12-inch quad rail, you know it's kind of,
it's the look. You gotta have a quad rail.
It's got to have a quad rail. So this is Daniel's Defense 12-inch quad rail. It's got the standard Daniel Defense patented locking mechanism here. I mean, this thing is locked.
And not going anywhere.
Not going anywhere. It comes with these little
pick rail covers.
Pick rail covers. They're plastic. If you don't want to hurt your little fingers.
That's right.
And you know, tear it up on the rail. I mean, it is what it is. The rail system, I mean, I like it. It has QD points up at the front, which is nice, and here on the back.
None on the bottom.
None on the bottom, but who puts a QD point on the bottom?
I don't know.
Or who uses the QD point on the bottom?
Yeah, it seems like it'd be counterproductive, but I could see someone using it for some reason. I personally, one of my gripes about Mark 12s, I'm not a huge fan of quad rails, but this one is not as bulky as many others.
No, it's not bulky at all.
Yeah, so like, it's a pretty good looking quad rail, and I like the QD points. And so far I like it.
So one of the things that I really like about the quad rail, we did a lot of shooting the other day with it. We were shooting a lot of long range shots with it. We stretched it out to 650 yards. It really did good at heat mitigation. We shot probably 200-300 rounds, like it was last Thursday or whatever it was, and it was cooking. I mean, the barrel was just blistering hot. We went through 2 suppressors because they got so hot you couldn't even see anything. I mean, even through the covers, I mean, we really heated the rifle up. And the quad rail, I mean, it did a great job at, you know, not transferring heat too bad to my hands.
Yeah, which is good. That's kind of what it's designed to do. I mean, it's designed to give you a lot of options as far as mounting stuff on it, but also get your hand away from the barrel. Yeah. Which, I mean, and you can see all the holes they put in it. Heck, I mean, that's got plenty of ventilation.
Some good airflow. Oh, yeah. Which is important, and if you're doing a lot of shooting, it's
also
good to have.
I mean, you can make the same argument for M-Lock, but it's rugged. So you can beat this thing up a little bit, like up against barricades or whatever you're doing. A quad rail, if you break it, you're doing something pretty good. Like
you're doing a lot of work.
If you bend that bad boy, you really screwed the pooch. But like, they're very rugged, which is a selling point to have them, and they're stable for the most part, especially with Daniel Defense's locking mechanism. This thing is quite stable. Yeah. And I don't know, I don't know this exactly, but what do they say because of this locking mechanism that you can mount any sort of, like, do they recommend you still mounting your optic towards the rear, or is this able to, like, is this going to hold well, like if you were running a laser, or if you had like a backup reflex or something like that?
Putting it further up
like,
on the
because
rail?
Of this, do they advertise that it'll hold true or zero because of the locking mechanism? I honestly don't know. That'd be something I would look into. But I mean, not that I would do it, but it's just something that could be a selling point.
You make a very good point, because like a lot of the Mark 12 builds I see online and whatnot, people do run a lot of, you know, lasers, or they mount their, you know, night vision, or sometimes I see their their offset red dots mounted up closer to the rail. And I know, I mean, this is supposed to be a very high-end rifle. And so I mean, if
it might be able to, I don't know that for a fact, but I would imagine it would be. It looks mighty stable, but I don't know.
I mean, we have to throw it out of an airplane to find out.
Yeah, see if it holds zero.
To see if it holds zero. So I really like the rail system, and I know you said you're not a super big fan of quad rails,
but I like this one. If I was going to buy a Mark 12 esque rifle, I would lean towards this one just because I like this rail better, and I like QD points.
Well, the other Mark 12 we have has the Centurion quad rail, and I think it's a little bit beefier,
got a little bit more girth.
Yeah, it's a little bit girthier than the DD. So I mean, I do like the DD rail a lot. Let's move on past that. We're getting to the upper receiver and lower receiver. 7075 T6 aluminum, very, very standard mil spec stuff. What's crucial about the upper and lower receiver is really what they put into it that makes it perform. Because I mean, everybody has 7075 T6 aluminum. Everybody in the whole entire world.
Bolt carrier group and trigger, that's when you're...
Yeah, so let's talk about that. So the bolt carrier group is Daniel Defense M16 bolt carrier group. It's chrome lined. I mean, the thing is rock solid. Runs great. I mean, we have shot it, used it, abused it. Pop it out here. Boop. I mean, it looks just like any other bolt carrier group, but you know, it's staked properly. I mean, it's just a very, very good and
it's gonna do its job. Sturdy
bolt carrier grip. Next thing,
charging handle.
Charging handle. So the DD charging handle, this is a kind of ambi, very nice higher end charging handle, similar to other
brands that we like.
I'm not saying it's a knockoff, but
they did take time to put their name on it.
Yeah, they did brand it, so that's important. Golly, I need to clean my guns more often.
Good grief.
Yeah, absolute mess. But it is DD's charging handle. I mean, I think it's fine.
Does the job.
Does the job. You can really get a good grip on it.
Doesn't hang up like others either. Some of them kind of get obnoxious as far as like how wide they are. This one doesn't seem to be. You know, if that thing's bothering you, just drop a mag in it, start taking
you just start shooting at flies.
Yeah, but like this thing is not obnoxiously big, which is good because there are some that, you know, catch up on your plate carrier, stuff like that, and just get to be too much. But this one seems to be the right size.
Yeah, I mean, I like the radium better.
Well, I do too. I like my radiums, but like this one, I wouldn't be disappointed. Like if I bought a Daniel Defense,
no,
I wouldn't. I'm not gonna say I wouldn't waste the money, but that wouldn't be a real high on my list because it's decent.
You know, it's pretty cool. I like when companies like I hate to shout these people out. Alexander Arms, they buy radians and put
AA on them.
Yeah, put AA on them. I think it'd be cool if, you know, Daniel's Defense did that. But I think I know why they don't do that, and we'll talk about that when we get to the lower. So
while we're
there, speaking of the lower receiver, you have a Daniel's Defense grip, and you also have a Daniel's Defense ambidextrous safety selector. Now, the big thing about the lower receiver, it's the trigger. So the trigger in the DD Mark 12 is a Geisley two-stage trigger.
The SSA.
The SSA. We think it's 3.5 pounds. The reason we don't really know is because if you go on Daniel's Defense's website, they don't say it's a Geisley trigger in it.
No, it doesn't.
No, it says it's an enhanced trigger.
But then you look at it and you're like, there's a little
G right there. And if you do some more research online, you can find where it's a Geisley SSA trigger. But we
got the old Wheeler.
We got it all out. Pulling
like 3.5.
It's pulling between 3.5 and 4 pounds. Really, really great trigger. We have Geisleys and other triggers. Actually, I have a Geisley in my other Mark 12. It's crisp, it's clean, it has a good break. The two-stage is nice.
Got great reset.
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly what you would look for in a precision shooting, long range.
We're gonna tip them out.
Oh gosh, the one-handed wonder.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
good stuff.
Great trigger. I mean, I like it a lot. Performs really well.
Yeah.
Good, crisp, clean pull. I mean, I slap the crap out of it when I shoot, and it still works.
That's right. Yeah, this kid's rough on picking his nose. You see that trigger finger?
Anyway, so that's another great selling point, and one of the reasons that this thing does come in at such a high price tag. Another parts of the lower receiver as we work our way back. Actually, I forgot to mention it does have a kind of a flared mag well.
Which is nice.
You know, the speed tactical reloads.
That's right.
Moving further back, we have an H buffer, kind of helping with that recoil a little bit heavier. And then the stock.
Which a lot of people don't like them, which I'm on the fence with them.
If I'm being completely honest, I don't like them. We have a B5 right here. I like the B5 a lot better. I'm just calling it how I see it.
Yeah. Some people don't like this, you know, had the little angle on the back of it.
How it's concave.
Yeah, you got that little curvature to it. The adjusting it's a little slightly how some people don't like it's got the rubberized molding on the top of it. Like, I could see that getting hung up on your shirt.
Yeah, and it's very purpose driven. If this is just solely your bench, like
you're probably gonna change it anyway. Some of the little bit wider for your cheek and stuff. But I mean, but the only thing I will say about it is that there's not a lot of rattle.
Like, and you don't have to lock it.
Yeah, so unless you buy a Magpul CTR, like you got to spend the extra money to get their CTR stock to where it locks in, it doesn't rattle.
Yeah.
But like a standard Magpul is gonna have some rattle, and most AR stocks, because of it being on a buffer tube, gonna have some rattle and play. That one's got a little bit, but this one pretty locked down for
pretty sturdy.
Yeah, which I was impressed with that. Also on here you got another QD point under here, which is nice.
QD points galore. So you
got them on stock as well.
Yeah, so you got 2 up here, 2 back here, 1 there, and
2 there.
So plenty of places to mount your sling, you know, which is a big deal. You always want to run it.
You gotta have options.
Yeah, you gotta have options.
Depending on your application, may change where you
how you run the sling. You know, if you're running the 1 point right back there, or actually, well, you could run the 2 point right there and right there. I mean,
yeah,
or right there and right. I mean,
your world's your oyster. Just whatever you want to do. I mean, I'd run it here to here, but
that's usually where I run it. Well, that's how I'm running this one.
Yeah, so it's kind of whatever you want to do, but also taking a step back to the lower, you just got your enhanced trigger well, a little bit wider. So if you were wearing gloves, now is that Daniel Defense? Is that their? Well, it's made into the grip. It's made into the grip. So
I didn't even notice that it was made into the grip. That's crazy.
Interesting. So one thing about the Daniel Defense grip, like I said, it is got the overmolded rubber, which feels pretty good, but it's a little bit steeper angle. Then some people may or may not like that. That might be getting super nitpicky. I could tell the difference.
I didn't even notice that. I'm glad. You know how big of a pain in the butt that would be to change that?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, you just got to punch this one and then unscrew.
Yeah, but you have to punch it. I hate punching anything.
But I mean, if you're gonna change anyway, you'd have to do it. Like,
no,
you have to take it out.
You can change your grip all the time without changing.
Oh, I thought you meant changing.
Like if I wanted to put this Reptilia in,
okay, I get what you're saying.
I'd have to change that.
I was thinking just replacing this. I'm like, well, you're doing that anyway. Okay, but I see what you're saying. If you want just the grip, you got to change that as well.
Yeah, if I wanted to put like a Magpul or like this Reptilia right here.
Yeah, they do have also things to notice. It does have the larger bolt release, which is kind of nice. Yeah, I just now noticed that about the grip and the on Daniel Defense per usual. Got the plastic dust cover.
Dust cover.
Which I mean, it's neither here nor there, but I think it's kind of funny.
You're paying $2,400 for a rifle.
But some people would argue the plastic is better than the aluminum.
Really?
Yeah, but I guess I don't know. I haven't looked into it that much. But
I haven't thought that deep into how my dust cover.
Yeah,
the dust cover is plastic or not.
I seriously doubt there's any benefit to run a plastic over metal, but I do think it's kind of funny that heck, that one might be more expensive than the metal one.
Probably. Well, it has Daniel Defense markings and branded on it.
That makes it more expensive.
Yeah, by default.
By default, if it's got DD on it, there goes the price.
Yeah.
But, so like application, what would you buy the Mark 12 to do? What do you need a Mark 12 for? Besides the fact you just want
this one specifically, what I think it's great for is, you know, you obviously have the money to spend.
Sure.
I don't think this is your first rifle you buy, but I think if you want a rifle that is incredibly accurate and can really stretch its legs past 600 yards, and you want something you can depend on and kind of
in a common caliber.
This is an awesome fit for that. Like I said, we were running the SIG Easy 6 on it, taking it 650 easy. It's a great shooting caliber, and a great shooting gun. We were using cheap ammo. We were using PPU M193. You put some nice ammo in this thing, you're running, you know, I don't know.
How many MOA are you thinking 650 yards?
I mean, this is easily a sub-MOA gun.
Oh, yeah.
Get really nice ammo in it, might be like, you know, half MOA. It's a great shooting gun. One of the videos I called, you know, AR-15s not typically precision rifles. This is definitely towards that precision AR-15. I mean, it's incredibly accurate. We shot great groups with it, and I mean, it'll outperform pretty much all of my other AR-15s in terms of accuracy, especially if you're putting nice ammunition in it. Of course, ammunition's half the battle.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
in this guy.
Yeah, well, and the trigger pull. That's why we have bougie old Geisley in it.
Yeah.
But I definitely think this is kind of that longer range shooting 5.56. Now, with that being said, it's definitely capable of doing some quick, you know, running and gunning. I mean,
it's just heavy.
It's just heavy.
Awkward.
It is a little bit heavy. I mean, it weighs 7.5 pounds.
Yeah.
You put a magnified optic on it like this. I mean, this is a 3-18. That's why we were kind of running the Hollow Sun canted on it to bridge that, to bring it in more of a closer range. If you need
to acquire targets at closer range.
Yeah, and you're doing
quickly
that, you know, I would say 50 yards and in. Doing the canted stuff, you're shooting further with it. It gets weird because the barrel's no longer, you know, all the barrels aiming slightly tilted up. if you're canting it,
you're just rotating it.
The barrel's slightly tilting that way, so your bullets are gonna veer off a little bit if you start to try to shoot further with it. But I mean, you're putting a very magnified optic on it, and I guess some people could run it with a LPVO if they wanted to.
Oh yeah, but it's kind of like, what's the point? I mean, most LPVOs have VDC in them to get them 600 yards anyway. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, you could, but then it's like, what's the point?
No, I would definitely put a more magnified optic on this.
So, with this one being, for the most part, a stock Mark 12 from Daniel Defense, what would you change about it?
I would put a different stock on it.
Like, you want to do a fixed stock, or are you going to keep?
No, I would keep an adjustable stock. I don't like that stock. Honestly, a B5 or a CTR, if I'm being honest with you. I don't know how much those retail for.
The Daniel Defense ones?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know, to be honest with you. I've not looked at one of them in a long time.
No. I'm fine with the grip. That's all right. We obviously changed the muzzle brake because of this. Actually, shooting it suppressed, no issues whatsoever.
Didn't have hanging up? Nothing?
No, nothing.
Oh, that's good.
So muzzle brake, and then I put a radian on it.
Okay.
Just because, you know.
Just because it's what you're used to, what you like.
Yeah. Other than that, I think
just leave it.
Just leave it. There's nothing that needs to be changed about this rifle.
Because there's no reason to upgrade the parts that really matter, because it's coming with the higher quality stuff.
Yeah. It's coming with, you know, the really nice barrel. It's coming with the really nice quad rail. I mean, if you're not a fan of quad rails, you could change it. You could put like I would just put a different Daniel's Defense rail on it.
Yeah, which most people that don't like quad rails probably aren't going to buy a Mark 12 anyway.
No, they're going to just buy Daniel's Defense DD V7, which I think already has the 18-inch barrel in it. It's kind of like a more upgraded Mark 12. And that's another reason people might buy this model, is because they like the Mark 12 look. Exactly. And like the Mark 12-esque build of it. Maybe they served and they used the Mark 12.
And they just like it.
And they just like it. They're comfortable with it. They love the quad rail, and they just like how it looks. I mean, that's one of the reasons I have this, is because I genuinely enjoy this platform and this type of rifle. Because you can easily just buy an 18-inch SBR or SPR and have a more precision, long-range AR-15 setup.
Yeah, it's more set up for a little bit, stretch your legs a little bit more.
You don't necessarily need the quad rail and whatnot.
But this just makes it a Mark 12.
Yeah, and the look. So that's another reason why you get it.
That'd be a selling point.
Yeah, definitely a selling point. So big question is it worth the $2,400? I could argue both ways, honestly. It's got everything you need in it. The
work's been done.
The work's been done. You know it's gonna work. It's got a, Daniel's Defense warranty, all made in the United States.
It's got the ego stroker.
Yeah, it's a name brand, so you have the confidence there. I'd almost say if you have the money to buy it, this is a good rifle to buy. Now, obviously you can build this for less, but you have to go through the process of building.
Which isn't that bad, but some people could be an issue. Yeah,
for some people could be an issue. There's a lot of fun. And now a lot of people that really dive into the weeds love to build. Yeah. So maybe this is not for those people, but if you're looking to buy just a very high-end AR-15
that's ready to go.
That's ready to go, and that you want to shoot longer ranges with it, and it's not necessarily a kick indoors gun, this is definitely what you should pick up and what you should get into.
Also be good when just round out the collection.
Yeah. And if you want something that looks like a Mark 12, I mean, here you go. Yeah. And I mean, this is easily available. They're in stock.
Yeah,
Daniel's Defense has them. We actually picked this up from 801 Weapon Works. So big shout out to 801 Weapon Works. Dude's awesome. He actually provided, well, he didn't provide it. We picked it up from him, but he gave us a good deal on this and the Hollow Stone we're running on it. So big shout out to him. Go check him out. Links at takesomeoneoutdoors.com/links to check out 801 Weapon Works. So big shout out to him. Also, if you want to see dope pictures of this, you should go follow us on Instagram. Links in the bio. I'm Shadow Band. I don't know if you know. Yeah, I'm Shadow Band.
No wonder your ugly mug ain't been on there in a while.
Yeah, it's rough. I'm Shadow Band, so you got to click the link down below to actually find me on Instagram and hit the subscribe button so you can stay up to date. Sparky, I think that about does it. Awesome little gun, and a lot of stuff's coming with this, so stay tuned. We'll see you on the next one. As always, take someone outdoors. Peace.
Next video, I'm putting a red dot on this thing.